To the NFL, the Giants reportedly came close to trading Odell Beckham Jr. last year, but they ultimately kept him because of the Patriots. Chris Sims said yesterday on Pro Football Talk that New England's interest in the star wide receiver made the Giants think twice about moving him. Trade rumors have continued to surround Beckham, but the Giants have said they're keeping him. We're joined by our friend, Michael Rapaport, host of the Rapaport Stereo podcast. He is back. And, Michael, I don't need to tell you, but we know you're a huge Giants fan. So what do you make of all this? What does it tell you?
It tells me that if the New York Giants somehow, for some reason, needed the Patriots and Bill Belichick to validate Odell Beckham's greatness, I'm more concerned than I was before I knew this. I didn't need Belichick. I didn't need my cousin. I didn't need my nephew to tell me that we have a Ferrari. Okay? And I was on this show, on the front lines, when Ben McAdoo, who I called the wackadoo, sat Eli Manning. I was offended by it. I didn't like how it went down. And that was my sentimentality. But McAdoo, the wackadoo, was correct. And I'll say this, Skip, and you know way more about this. If we start the season with Eli Manning as our starting quarterback, and we have this Ferrari, who we know has been temperamental, we know he's gotten injured, but you need to have a Ferrari with that kind of engine. It needs to be let loose every now and then. For the last 2 seasons, it hasn't been able to be let loose because there's no one who could throw the ball downfield. It is time, unfortunately, to really, the hard fact is we cannot start another season. It's been 2 seasons too many with Eli Manning as our starting quarterback. So it's very concerning to me. It's weird that they needed that validation from the Patriots. I don't know who you trade for an Odell Beckham because he's one of the top 5 football players on offense or defense in the league right now.
Did he change your life last year? No. But you can argue that the quarterback is not capable of changing your life, right?
He can't even throw the ball down the field anymore. I love this man, Eli Manning, but it's time to go.
He won you 2 rings.
He won me 2 rings.
He beat Tom Brady twice.
Not once. No, twice. He beat him twice. But it was, you start to think, like, what year was it? It was a while ago.
True.
It's time. We can't start the season with Eli Manning as our starting quarterback. We can't do it. Eli Manning should bench himself. He should know, like, I don't have it. And it's gonna be detrimental to Saquon Barkley at a certain point because they're gonna be like, well, we know they can't throw it down the field to Odell. We could start, gearing to stop Saquon, and then that shuts him down. And both these guys are healthy. These are 2 Ferraris. So Skip, I don't know where to go with this.
Even if you do draft Dwayne. Draft one of those kid quarterbacks, aren't you still going to be stuck with Eli for a little while?
Yes.
Right?
The great Patrick Mahomes. He sat an entire year.
A whole year. And it probably served him well, I must say. It served Aaron Rodgers well to wait 3 years. It just does.
So yes, both those guys, potentially. We can't start the season with a rookie quarterback. It'll be worse than having Eli there.
Here's my problem with Odell. And I do like him personally. He gets mad at me because he thinks this gets personal, but it's not personal. You're Ferrari, and he is top of the line Ferrari. He winds up in the shop too much because he needs tune-ups almost every Sunday because something sets him off. The littlest thing can send him completely over the edge. And when he goes over the edge, he is a lost cause.
I agree.
Because you get tirades, you get tantrums, you get melodrama. You get drama. He is like LeBron, a drama king, because he sort of creates his own drama, and then once he goes over the edge into the drama, he can't seem to click it off and come back and play football, right?
I agree.
So they gave him his money. You're stuck with the money, and now I'm going to look at it from a Brady perspective. I'm a Brady fan. I'm not so much a New England fan, but I believe Odell's career would thrive at a much higher level in Foxborough than it would in the Big Apple. I'm not sure Odell was made for the Big Apple because it's just too much him. It allows Odell to be too much Odell after hours off the field, and he tries to live up to a social media image that is detrimental to his football performances. That's just me, because he thinks he has to play a role. He thinks, like we just talked about Tebow saying, don't let the internet define you. Don't let anybody. And Odell let the media sort of tell him who he was. He's got to be Odell. He's got to be the hair. He's got to live up to all of the image, as opposed to being the Ferrari, because the Ferrari, by any name, is virtually unstoppable, because when he's right, he's the rightest of all the receivers to me. And to me, if he wound up in the New England culture with its structure and its work ethic and its discipline, where everybody's the same, check your ego at the door. Tom Brady checks his ego at the door. I think, and again, you don't want to hear this as a Giants fan, but I think Odell's career would take off, because they wouldn't allow the tantrums. They wouldn't allow any of it, because he would just know, if I do that one time, I'm going to be gone. The problem is that if you trade for him, and they've got a draft stockpile that they haven't had for a while, because they do have a first, they have 2 seconds, they have a lot of later picks. So they could offer you more than probably anybody could offer you in draft picks, but then they would have to absorb a $21 million cap hit next year, which is not the Patriot way.
Right.
That's my problem with this whole scenario. Would I like to see Tom Brady get Odell for the next 5 years? God, would I?
That's the one thing they didn't have this year.
They don't have it. And he hasn't had it really since Randy Moss.
Yes, I mean, obviously any team would thrive with Odell Beckham, but
if he's right.
If he's right, but
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's in his prime of his youth, and even though he does get injured, the fact that he's still young and still healthy, and when he's still playing, he's still at top speed, and we're not able to use that and see that for 2 seasons now.
Yep.
I would be frustrated. And I've been on this show and I've bashed him and I've been hard on him, but it's like we cannot start the season next year with Eli or one of these rookies. And so I don't know. It's like you got paid. You're in New York. I don't know what's going to happen. He would be great anywhere. I mean, with any quarterback that could throw the ball down the field.
I don't know.
Of course
he can disrupt. He can. If he doesn't like where it's headed, I think New England's the only place where he would thrive.
But it's not happening. He's not going in.
Well, I'm trying to speak it into existence.
What are you trying to speak it into existence for? Why do you want my guy to go to New England? They have enough. They have enough. Okay, C.J. Anderson's here later on in the show. We just watched them win their 19th Super Bowl. Was it 19?
29th, I think.
Tom Brady and all this stuff. I've submitted. They have enough. They have enough going for them. They're not taking our Ferrari.
Tom Brady just beat all-time odds. He just won the Super Bowl by making Julian Edelman the MVP of the Super Bowl. Little Julian, former college quarterback at Kent State, 7th-round draft choice, age 32, coming off complete knee reconstruction. He won the Super Bowl with that guy?
You're saying that that you're belittling Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman is, listen, we could say whether he's Hall of Fame, his stats. When it's time to play in the biggest, he won him 2 Super Bowls.
Wait, Julian won Tom 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah,
I think it was quite the other way around.
When it was 28-3 versus Atlanta, he's the guy on the sideline that was like, it's going to be a hell of a story. It's going to be, and you know what?
Tom Brady was yelling that.
No, Julian was saying it's going to be.
Your story wrong.
No, it was Julian that said that.
In the fourth quarter and overtime, Tom Brady threw for 246 yards.
And listen,
that would be a great Super Bowl just by itself.
I'm not saying Tom isn't the GOAT. I just said it. I don't like saying it. My stomach it doesn't feel good. But Julian Edelman, when it's time to play football, he's playing football. When it's time to go over the middle, catch the ball, and take the shot, he's the guy doing it in the biggest of the big games. We can hate on him all we want, and I'm the biggest Giants fan in the world.
You are.
But the guy, he's a champion.
Can Julian Edelman run by anybody? He can out-quick people underneath, but he can't run by anybody. Can Odell? Yeah.
Obviously, Odell Beckham is a superior athlete, a superior wide receiver. But I'm telling you something. I'll take a Julian Edelman when it's crunch time to run over the middle, get smacked, catch the ball, not catch the ball. Even in the playoff game, the playoff game before, he missed the catch. He came back. I mean, This is what you need. This is Odell Beckham could take a little bit from Julian Edelman. It's the next play, the next play, the next play. You're making me. How did you spin this reverse psychology and make me stand up for the Patriots and my guy Odell Beckham and a Giant and sit here and defend Julian? What are you doing to me?
When the Patriots acquire Odell Beckham Jr., I think Tom Brady could play until he's 46, 47.
What's going on here?
I'm speaking it into
According to Michael, he doesn't
happening.
want this to
I don't know
happen.
how did you spin this on me?
I
don't know if he could conform to the Patriots' way.
I don't think so either.
I don't know if that has him.
And they don't pay like that. They don't pay players out there.
Yeah, $65 million in guarantee.
But they should pay Julian Edelman. He won you 2 Super Bowls.
Okay, well, Michael, good to have you. You're going to be back later in the show, but next up, Rams running back C.J. Anderson is here. We're going to talk to him about his future, his Super Bowl run.
And the Cowboys.
He has a lot to say.
Yep.
Next.
Come to